Hi everyone, today we are going to begin with our example session on the topic seed dispersal and germination. So we studied about what type of seeds are there, how are they dispersed, what is germination, how does it happen, what is inside a seed, what are cotyledons, what are monocots, what are dicots, what is the various forms of dispersal. Alright, now we will have an example session on the same and we will start with the question. So let's start. Which of the following structures in a seed develops into a new plant? Right. So inside a seed, which part of the seed, okay, develops into a new plant? Is it the seed coat? Is it the embryo? Is it the cotyledon? Or is it the seed dispersal mechanism? So the correct answer is option B, embryo. So inside we have a seed. Inside a seed, I have a dormant embryo, right, which grows into a new plant. Inside I have that fertilized embryo, fertilized zygote, which is the embryo. Okay, now this will utilize all the energy from the cotyledons and this will grow into a new plant, right? Okay. Which of the following which part of the seed provides nourishment to the developing embryo? Okay, so inside the seed, what part of this will give nourishment? What is nourishment? Nutrients, support, growth, okay, to the developing embryo. Is it the seed coat? Is it the embryo? Is it a cotyledon? Or is it the seed dispersal mechanism? So again, I will show you a seed. Right. This is a dicot. Inside we have the embryo. Now, which part of it will give it nutrients so that it can grow? Alright. Is it the outer coating? No. Is it the embryo? Embryo has to grow, so not embryo. Is it the seed dispersal mechanism? No. Like, how will the dispersal mechanism help it grow? Alright, no. It is the cotyledon. Okay. Cotyledon gives food to dormant embryo. Alright, what does dormant embryo mean? Means it was asleep. When it gets favorable conditions, it will grow. Alright, so and to grow, it needs food, it needs energy until that cotyledon develops into a leaf. Alright, so cotyledons give that energy. They store the food. When we are eating kidney beans, rajma or peas or mutton and all those things, what happens is we are utilizing that energy that is stored for the embryo. We are eating that food as carbohydrates. The process of transferring seeds from one place to another is known as what? Seed dispersal, seed germination, seed production, seed harvesting. It is A. Seed dispersal. From one plant, it has a seed, it goes away to grow in a far away place. Okay, seed germination is the growing of seed. Okay, germination is the growing of that seed into a new plant. Seed production is completely different, that is from the flowers and all, and seed harvesting is nothing. So seed dispersal. Which of the following is a method of seed dispersal by wind? So see what they are asking. Out of these, what would be an example for seed dispersal by wind? Okay, so I showed you an example where we had a dandelion, okay, and it had a lot of pores around it, these very light seeds, okay, attached to some wing and a very light seed. This would blow with wind, right? This will blow with wind and seeds will be dispersed very far off, okay, from this to these seeds. Explosive mechanism, animal ingestion, gravity or air currents. The correct answer would be D, air currents. So what happens is, air currents means air flowing, which also means wind. Okay, so very strong air current. Maybe there's a storm, maybe there's a very strong wind blowing. It will take away the seeds with itself, and these seeds will land on some fertile soil and these will grow. Okay, and these will grow. So this is air currents, not gravity, not animal ingestion, and not explosive mechanism. This is not explosive mechanism. Okay, explosive would be the seed pod bursting open, right? This is just seed dispersal by wind. Which of the following is a method of seed dispersal by animals? Alright, so animals do a lot of seed dispersal by ingestion. They digest the seeds, alright, they excrete it out, or they would eat the fruit, drop the seed, all of these things. The seed would get stuck to their fur or wings or feathers, right? So, which of the following is a method of seed dispersal by animals? Is it wind? Is it water? Is it gravity? Is it animal ingestion? It is D, animal ingestion by animals. Okay, what happens in animal ingestion? They will digest the seed, alright, but it has a very strong seed coating, so the seed won't be digested, it will be excreted out. Okay, it would be thrown off as waste material from the animal's body, and where it will throw it out, the seed will grow. Okay, which of the following seed dispersal mechanisms involves the attachment of seeds to the fur or feathers of animals? What happens is, if there is a seed, it will attach itself to the fur of the animal, alright, the fur. Now what would happen is, these seeds will get attached over wherever the animal would travel, he will disperse those seeds, okay, and these seeds will grow. So which of the following involves the attachment of seeds? Wind dispersal, animal dispersal, water dispersal, explosive mechanism. The correct answer is B, animal dispersal. So attachments of seed to the fur or to the feathers is an animal dispersal. This cannot be done by wind, okay, this cannot be done by water, this cannot be done by explosive mechanism. Which of the following is an example of seed dispersal by water? Okay, so dispersal by water, it is important to learn dispersal by various mechanisms. Okay, that is important because seed dispersal takes place through a lot of ways, and if you know them all, you can answer any question easily. So the first option is dandelion seeds floating in the air, not in the water, floating in the air. What were the dandelion seeds? I showed you a plant having a lot of winged seeds like this arranged in the form of a flower, and these seeds will fly away like this. This is a dandelion. Okay, coconuts floating in the ocean. Okay, I have shown you a picture, coconuts floating in the ocean, burrs sticking to the animal fur. Okay, burrs sticking to animal fur. Burrs is a type of plant. Okay, it's seeds sticking to animal fur, seed pods bursting open. So out of all of these, right? Out of all of these four options, which one is dispersed by water? In which one is seed being transported by water? Dispersal simply means transport. See everywhere where the transport is being done by water. Okay, they have mentioned water. So the correct option is option B. Coconuts floating in the ocean, right? Coconuts, they will float. So supposedly this is the ocean. There is a coconut floating. This will develop a shoot and a little bit of root, right? This will float until it reaches a safe land, right? A safe land. This will go and this will grow. Which of the following conditions is necessary? Alright, this condition is necessary for seed germination to occur. Is it sufficient sunlight? Is it low humidity? Is it warm temperature? Is it a dry environment? Okay, so sufficient sunlight, necessary, low humidity, warm temperature, out of and dry environment. Which of these is necessary for seed germination to occur? You might think it is sufficient sunlight. No, it is a warm temperature. Okay, why a warm temperature? It needs sunlight after it has developed a shoot. Okay, after it has started getting chlorophyll, right? But for the seed germination to occur, what does occur means? To start. All right, so germination to occur, germination will start, and to start it needs that outer seed coating, the seed coat, to break, so that the embryo can grow and give out its shoot and give out its root. Now this seed coating will break due to warm temperature and moisture. Okay, so some warm temperature and some moisture will lead this seed to grow, okay, for germination to occur, right? Now after this, after its cotyledons have been utilized, after it has developed a certain amount of stem, a certain amount of shoot and the root. Shoot was the plumule, root was the radicle. After it has got a plumule and a radicle, then sufficient sunlight would be a factor. Alright. Now, what is the first stage of seed germination? What is the first stage of seed germination? Absorption of water, emergence of the radicle, development of cotyledons, formation of the seed coat. So cotyledons, the spelling is important. Alright, cotyledons. What is the first stage of seed germination? The correct answer is option A. Absorption of water. I told you it needs moisture and warmth. Okay, so absorption of water. If I can, I will try to show you. Yeah, see over here, seed germination. The first step is we get the seed, we put it goes into the soil, we put water. The first step is moisture. Okay, then we see a plumule and a radicle. Okay, then it grows further, then the cotyledons are utilized. Now it has a root, it has a shoot. Now sunlight will be utilized to grow more, it will get flowers, flowers will be fertilized to form fruits. These are the stages, right? So first is absorption of water. Is it the emergence of radicle? No. What was the radicle? That was the root. It comes later on. Development of cotyledons. Cotyledons are already there in the seed. Okay, so it will not develop in germination. It will be utilized. Formation of seed coat. These are all formed when the seed is being made. So, not this. Which of the following factors does not affect seed germination? Okay, so out of all these, one factor does not, always see the question properly, what they are asking, does not affect seed germination. Temperature, light intensity, seed size, soil moisture. So the correct option is out of these, seed size. Germination does not depend upon seed size. My seed size could be this much, my seed size could be this much. It will germinate in the same manner, alright, same fashion. Seed size does not matter, it does not affect the germination. Ultimately, a shoot and a root need to come out. Okay, temperature matters because it needs warmth. Light intensity matters because after it has germinated, after there's a shoot, after there's a radicle, it will need light, so light intensity matters. And to start germination, soil moisture matters. Moisture means water, right? This matters the most. In seed germination, the radicle develops into what? Okay, so I have told you this in the lectures. What is the radicle? R for radical, R for the root, right? Is it the stems? No. Is it the leaves? No. Is it the root? Yes. Is it the cotyledon? No. Radical. Okay, this is a very simple trick to remember it. Radical, root, right? Root. See this. R, 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 R. Which part of a seed absorbs water during germination? So, if this is a seed, right, it has this embryo, it has a shoot, it has a root. Now, which part of the seed will absorb the water during germination? Is it the seed coat? Is it the embryo? Is it the cotyledon? Is it the radicle? So the correct answer is option B. For germination to start, right? Suppose it was a normal seed under the ground, right? Water is coming from top. It goes inside. Which part will absorb it? It would be the embryo. Embryo will absorb the water. Okay, embryo. What is the purpose of the cotyledons in a germinating seed? Okay, so what does the cotyledon do? I have told you cotyledons, they provide energy. Why? Let me show you again. So this was a seed. Okay, this had cotyledons, right? Now when it will develop into a little bit of plumule, a little bit of radicle, right? After this, all of its food will be used. Okay, after this cotyledon will be used and it will have a, this cotyledon gave it energy to develop into leaves, to develop leaves. Now leaves have chlorophyll, now it can make its own food. But cotyledons were responsible so that it is able to reach a stage where it can make its own food, right? So to absorb sunlight, to store food, to protect the embryo, to help with water absorption. Cotyledons, the purpose is clear, it is to store food. Okay, we have two types of cotyledons, monocots, dicots, right? Monocots have a single cotyledon, dicots have two. Which of the following is not a requirement for successful seed germination? Which of the following is not, always underline, not a requirement for successful seed germination? Oxygen, carbon dioxide, water, suitable temperature. Out of these, one is not required. You might think that all of these are required for germination. No. Is oxygen required? Yes. Is water required? Yes. Is a suitable temperature required? Yes. Carbon dioxide is not required. for successful seed germination. Now, you might think why? Because plants need carbon dioxide. No. When it is under the soil, it requires water, it requires a good warmth, it requires oxygen to germinate, to start getting a shoot, a plumule, and a radical root. Now, after it has developed into a small plant, it needs carbon dioxide, sunlight, water, alright, for photosynthesis. Okay, but for germination, okay, for successful germination, germination means the popping out of a shoot and a root. That requires not carbon dioxide. So the correct option is carbon dioxide. Which of the following statements is true about seed dispersal? Alright, which of the following statements is true about seed dispersal? It helps plants to compete for resources. It prevents the growth of new plants. It is only carried out by animals. It occurs after seed germination. Okay. The correct option is option A. It helps plants to compete for resources. Okay. Now, what would happen is, supposedly there is a plant, right? There is a plant. If the seed would fall over here, very close to it, this will grow and it will compete with this parent plant itself for space, for sunlight, for resources. Their roots would merge together. If the dispersal happens a little far away, they will have ample of space, ample of resources for each other, right? So it helps plants compete for resources. Which of the following is an example of seed dispersal by explosion? Alright, by explosion. Dandelion, seeds floating in the air, coconuts floating in the ocean, burrs sticking to animal fur, or pea pods bursting open. So again, by explosion, by bursting open. The correct option is D, pea pods. We all have had, what do they call it in Hindi? Matar, right? Matar, the peas, they have this form. Peas have this form. Okay, there are these inside it. This pod will burst open. Okay, this is seed dispersal by explosion. After it has had a lot of seeds and they have grown, it will burst open. How do seeds dispersed by animals benefit from the dispersal process? They are protected from the predators. They receive nutrients from the animal droppings. They can grow closer to their parent plant, or they can photosynthesize in air. So, what is the benefit from the dispersal process? Dispersed by animals benefit from this. So, the correct option is option B. They receive nutrients from animal droppings. So, now what happens is, after the animal or the bird has eaten that seed, it will be excreted, right? It will be dropped off, it will be popped off. Alright, so now what would happen is that animal excreta will have nutrition for the seed to grow. Alright, this is the life cycle, right? Their excreta will be beneficial for the seed to grow, it will give it nutrients, right? So the seeds receive nutrients from animal droppings. Which of the following is a common method of seed dispersal by gravity? Now, out of these, which one is by gravity? Wind, water, animal ingestion, dropping from the parent plant. Okay, is a method of seed dispersal by gravity, right? Where is gravity playing a role to transport the seed? Is it dropping from the parent plant? Yes, it is dropping from the parent plant. Drop means to go down, right? Dropping. Okay, so if there is a parent plant, right? If there is a parent plant, it had a seed, okay, in the fruit, it had a seed, and this dropped off. Some plants have characteristic that their seed will be dropped nearby only, okay, because the fruit is very heavy, okay, and it will grow close to its parent plant itself. This is the dropping part, okay, by using gravity. Gravity is being used to transport the seed, okay, gravity, not wind, not water, not animal ingestion, okay, not animal ingestion. What triggers means starts the germination process in the seed? Is it exposure to sunlight? Is it absorption of water? Is it a mechanical damage to the seed coat? Is it the availability of nutrients in the soil? Be not uh, confused, it is absorption of water. The first step in germination is absorption of water. If there is no water, germination will not start. Okay, correct option is always absorption of water. That is what starts germination. How does the dispersal of seeds benefit plant populations? Alright, how does the dispersal of seeds benefit the plant population? Now, seed is being transported from how are the plants benefiting? It prevents overcrowding of plants. It reduces chances of seed germination. It helps plants to form symbiotic relationship. What was the symbiotic relationship? Symbiotic means mutualism. Okay, they will form a symbiotic relationship with another organism, right? So like in partnership with some ants, with some mushrooms or anything like that. In nature we have symbiotic relationships. It increases the chance of pollination. Now, what does dispersal of seeds benefit the most over it? It prevents overcrowding of plants, right? If dispersal is from away from the plant, it will grow in a sufficient space with more resources. It will not compete. It does not reduce the chance of seed germination, because this is what makes germination more possible. All right, it increases the chance of seed germination. It helps plants to form symbiotic relationships. Okay, no, seed dispersal does not help. It increases the chance of pollination. No, it does not. Which of the following is not a method of seed dispersal? Out of these, which is not? Not, always underline which is a and which is not a. So animal ingestion is a part. Wind is also a part. Water is also used. Soil erosion is not used. What is soil erosion? Soil erosion is the wearing away of soil. Okay, if there are not a lot of plants and roots available on that ground, okay, on that land, there are chances it will be wore off by wind, by water, by rains. All right, that soil, that land will be washed off. Okay, that is soil erosion. What is the function of the seed coat? Okay, seed coat. What was the seed coat? Now this outer lining, this harsh lining of the seed is the seed coat. Okay, in coconuts. Okay, so in coconuts, this is very hard. The seed coat is very hard. Coconuts. Okay, this is very hard. In normal kidney beans like rajma and all, this is very soft. Okay, now what is the function of the seed coat? To protect the embryo, to help with water absorption, to provide nutrients to the developing seedling, to aid in seed dispersal. Now this might be confusing for you. What is the function of the outer coat? Where would it help it? So the correct option over here is A, to protect the embryo. The most important part of the seed is the embryo, what is inside, which will grow further, right? Now seed coat is responsible for protecting it from animal ingestion, from changing weather conditions, from hot, from very cold, Okay, so that the dormant embryo, alright, the sleeping embryo or the embryo which is in waiting for nutrients can stay safe. This is what ensures survival of plant. If for example some plant has a very hard seed coat, means it will stay protected for long, and whenever it will get a favorable condition, the water, the warmth, alright, then it will grow. This is what the case in coconuts. It is very hard. Which of the following is an example of a plant that uses explosive seed dispersal? Explosive. Now over here there are 4 plants. Out of these, which one uses explosive seed dispersal? Means the seeds will burst out. Okay. Maple tree, pine tree, coconut tree, or the dandelion plant. The correct option is option D. Alright. The dandelion plant. It is by wind. Alright. What happens is these dandelions will, after a while, okay, so before they have matured into some wings, alright, before it has some wings like these, okay, the plant does not have any wings, okay, it is very harsh, right? This is not like this is a very harsh part, but this pod would explode and these will be carried away by wind. Okay, the pod over here that is holding the seeds, it will explode. So it is dandelion plant. How do plants ensure successful seed dispersal? Okay, how do plants ensure successful seed dispersal? Also in the coconut tree, right? The coconut, if you've ever seen, there is a coconut, this would drop off, right? That is when this seed has become mature. This is also explosive seed dispersal. How do plants ensure successful seed dispersal? How do they ensure that the seed has been successfully dispersed? By producing a large number of seeds, by storing seeds underground, by using artificial dispersal methods, by preventing seed germination. So the correct option is A, by producing a large number of seeds. Now, after the seeds have been dispersed, there are a lot of seeds, right? So some would go to rocks, some would fall in the water, some will fall off on the city grounds where it will not germinate. Only small portion of the dispersed seeds will fall on the soil, on fertile soil where it will grow, right? Which of the following statements is true about seed germination? Okay, which of the following statements is true about seed germination? It occurs only in flowering plants. It requires the presence of sunlight. It results in the formation of flowers. It is the process of a seed developing into a new plant. Correct option is option D. It is the process of seed developing into a new plant. How do seeds dispersed by wind benefit from the dispersal process? Okay, seeds dispersed by wind benefit from the dispersal process. They receive nutrients from the wind. They are protected from predators. They can grow closer to the parent plant. No, if it is wind flowing, they will grow away from the parent plant. They can be carried over long distances. Now, this is the correct option. They can be carried over long distances. Why? Because they are very lightweight and wind flows over a long distance. So, they can carry over long distances. What is the purpose of the radicle in germinating seed root? To absorb sunlight, to store food, to anchor the seedling in the soil, to help with water absorption. So the correct option is option C, to anchor the seedling in the soil. So example, this is the seed, the radicle, that is the root. Its first and foremost job is to anchor the seed. Anchor means so that the seed does not move from its place. It will firmly hold in the ground. Which of the following factors can break seed dormancy and initiate germination? Dormancy means the sleep, and initiate germination. So seed was not typically growing. I give it this condition and it will start growing. Okay. Low temperature, lack of water, exposure to sunlight, exposure to light, or acidic soil. Okay. Out of all of these, only exposure to light can initiate the germination, means it will warm the soil. Okay. Acidic soil, no. Lack of water, no. Low temperature, no. How does the dispersal of seeds by water help plant populations? Alright. How does the dispersal of seeds by water help plant? It allows seed to be carried to new habitats. What does that mean? So that water flows, alright, the seed is traveling to new habitats, right? So like maybe from Delhi to a hilly region, or from hilly region to Delhi, like that sort. It prevents seed germination, it promotes competition among plants, it increases the chance of self-pollination. The correct option is option A. It allows seed to be carried to new habitats, to new places. So, because a river is flowing, right? A stream is flowing, it can carry the seed to new places. Which of the following is a characteristic of a seed that is dispersed by animals? Okay, now these are some characteristics of the seeds. Okay, some features of a seed that would be dispersed by animals. So what type of seed would be dispersed by animals, which can stick to it, which can be digested, which can be thrown away by the animals? So light and winged structure, that would be for wind dispersal. Hard outer coat, a hook-like structure, flotation devices. The correct option is hook-like structure, so that they can hook onto the fur, right? So a seed with a little bit of a hook-like structure, so it will get attached to the fur and disperse itself. All right. So that was the example session for this topic. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.